The Punjab Defamation Bill of 2024 has been tabled and passed by the government in Punjab. It is a despotic law and it will have disastrous consequences for free speech. In the statement of objects and reasons for passing the law, it has been stated that it seeks to prevent false news and to protect the image of public officials and the government by defamation. Defamation generally protects an individual from harm to their reputation or loss caused by a false statement. It does not protect the government or its institutions as a whole. Defamation laws protect people, they protect individuals. Defamation laws do not protect the government or its institutions. Something that we often hear in the discourse in Pakistan is that the armed forces or the judiciary have been defamed. And to extend the applicability of defamation laws to institutions would be an assault on the right to free speech and freedom of expression. Now, coming to the provisions of the new bill, a definition has been included of constitutional office. Constitutional office has been defined to include the President, the Prime Minister, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief Justice of Pakistan, etc. In cases where a constitutional office holder files a claim, there is a special procedure. A special single bench of the Lahore High Court will hear claims which have been filed by constitutional office holders. And there's also a special exception in that constitutional office holders will not have to appear during the defamation proceedings. Effectively, what this means is that if the Chief Justice of Pakistan or the Chief of Army Staff files a defamation claim against a citizen, not only is there a separate procedure, but they also will not have to appear during the defamation proceedings. There is no justification and no explanation for why this distinct separate procedure exists. There must be equality before the law, and this is not equality. If public officials are going to start suing citizens for defamation and filing defamation claims, they should be required to appear. And in fact, when it comes to public officials, there must be a higher standard in defamation claims. Citizens must be able to speak freely and without fear when it comes to public interest and political matters. Citizens must not fear the threat of a lawsuit when they're talking about political or public interest matters. And there's a real risk that this new law will be used by public officials to shield themselves from criticism and to threaten citizens who are critical with defamation lawsuits. There is also a gag order effectively in the law, and the law states that no one will be allowed to comment or make a statement about pending proceedings. So once proceedings have been initiated, no one is allowed to comment on them, and this is a blanket prohibition, and it's absurd and disproportionate, and there's no justification for it. The law also excludes the applicability of the rules of evidence, and the Qanun-e-Shahadat has been excluded. So it's not clear what rules of evidence will apply and how the courts and tribunals will decide issues such as admissibility of evidence. Once again, the bill gives no explanation. It simply excludes the applicability of the Qanun-e-Shahadat. The government has also included itself in the appointment process and to appoint members of the tribunal. This is problematic because in certain cases, the government is the accused and government representatives are the accused, or they may be involved, and therefore for the government to be involved in the appointment of the tribunal raises serious questions about the independence as well as the impartiality of the tribunal, and the government should not have a role in the appointment of the tribunal. It must be completely independent of the government. The penalties which have been introduced in the law are also disproportionate, and one of the penalties is that the entire social media account of a citizen can be suspended in defamation claims. And not just the defamatory content, but the entire social media account. This is a disproportionate penalty, and this government already has a terrible record when it comes to free speech and social media. Twitter has been banned for several months, and now the government has introduced a law where in defamation claims, one of the possible penalties is that the entire social media account of an individual can be suspended. Pakistan already had civil and criminal defamation laws. Instead of improving the existing laws, a new and even more oppressive law has been introduced. Citizens must not have the sword of a defamation claim hanging over their head. And with the loose definition of defamation in the new law, it seems that the government in Punjab has just handed the state with its latest weapon to be used against citizens and to silence any critical discourse and dissent. And it's a dangerous law, and the consequences of it remain to be seen. This was Case in Point, and I'm Rida Hosain.